everyone would unite to pick up a special pole and mercilessly push it behind the door that was 100 meters tall. The infected person could only selfishly beg for mercy, as if there was something even more terrifying than death behind the door. However, for the safety of most people, everyone still forced him into the gate, as the heavy stone door slowly closed. Nobody can live till dawn in it. Until the second day, the gate will open again at dawn. At that time, the best runners in the camp will enter the gate, and outside the high wall will be endless mazes. These vigorous runners are the only hope in the whole camp, only by relying on the maze map they draw. It was only possible for everyone to find a way out of this place. However, today's situation was exceptionally unusual. Normally, the walkers would always run out before sunset, but today, they were still unseen. At this moment, some people speculated that they might have been killed by the monsters in the maze. Whenever a strong wind rolled up in the passage, it meant that the stone door was about to close. Just when everyone was almost desperate, Mark suddenly pointed to the depths of the labyrinth and saw Walker Minor walking towards the exit with the injured Captain Old Black on his back. At this time, Mino was exhausted, and seeing that the door was about to close, Mark actually squeezed sideways into the closing door. Although he managed to squeeze in, this reckless move confused the experienced Mino, including yourself. Mino realized that Mark had just arrived here, so he knew nothing about the dangers inside. He struggled to explain the situation here to Mark. Elder High had begun to show symptoms of infection when he was attacked by the ghost fire beast lurking in the maze. It was already one of the exhausted people to bring the captain here. At this time, night is about to fall, and the monsters will soon come out. Mino, who didn't want to stay here, wanted to find a place to hide first, but Mark said, "Hide the captain first." At this point, Mark suddenly noticed the vines hanging from the stone wall. They could use the vines to hang the captain in the air, hoping to save his life. However, at this moment, a creepy scratching sound suddenly came from the depths of the tunnel, and a huge ghost fire beast appeared. Driven by survival instinct, Milo could only leave them and run away, which made Mark suddenly at a loss. He could only quickly hide behind the vines and take his breath. After the monster left, he quickly fixed the vine that tied the captain to ensure that the captain wouldn't fall. However, this subtle movement still caught the monster's attention. Luckily, the monster didn't find it, but soon several monsters' low growls echoed from afar. Terrified, he sprinted through the maze, but being his first time there, he quickly got lost. During this frantic escape, he accidentally trod on some unknown liquid, which unexpectedly flowed down onto his shoulder. Mark had to turn around and run away, but the monster didn't seem to be an idiot, and he would take a shortcut to stop it. However, due to his lack of experience, Mark was quickly forced to a broken edge. Seeing that there was no way back, he had to jump. The monster also rushed up after him. Fortunately, the monster was entangled by dense companions because of too much soil and temporarily lost its ability to move. Mark took the opportunity to run away in a hurry when his teammate Mino suddenly appeared. He is the person who knows the maze best in the whole base, and he knows all the terrain here like the back of his hand. However, Mark suddenly stopped, and he noticed that the corpse wall next to him was slowly closing. A bold plan formed in his mind. Come on. Thus, he exploited the maze's alteration to press the monster into mush successfully. The next morning, when the door of the maze opened again, everyone waiting at the door was shocked to see Mark and Mino walking out safely. Everyone was very surprised because no one could live to the second day in the maze before. But when they learned that Mark had killed a ghost fire beast, they immediately held an emergency meeting. The Conservatives headed by Gary strongly condemned Mark's behavior, thinking that he not only acted without authorization, violating the rules here for many years and killing monsters that have coexisted peacefully for many years is likely to bring serious regrets to the base. What you suggest to be punished? As soon as this remark came out, most people immediately protested, and Nuo even expressed his support for Mark's approach, because no one of them had been able to kill the Ghost Fire Beast in 3 years. He thought that talents like Marco should be included in the Walkers team to help everyone escape from the maze. But just as everyone was arguing endlessly, the teleportation platform in the center of the camp suddenly made a move. Everyone rushed to check, only to be surprised to find that a young woman had been sent up. And Mark had just been sent for a few days, which obviously broke the rule of only sending one person every month. What's even more shocking is that there is a note drilled in the woman's hand, but it says, "She's the very last person left here." Everyone's eyes immediately focused on Mark, because the newcomer who was sent here should have all his memories cleared, but this woman shouted Mark's name strangely, and Gary immediately started an article on this matter. Come overreacting. At the moment, what worries them even more is that if there are no more supplies from the platform, the whole camp will face a huge survival crisis. So Mark decided to enter the maze again to look for clues, but he was stopped by Mino, because at this time other walkers had been convinced by Gary, and no one believed him at all. Mark is in a very sensitive position. Fortunately, Mino was willing to believe him and helped him find a few trusted walkers to go with him. Soon they arrived at the stone wall where the monster died. Then they painstakingly pulled the monster out and found a running electronic device inside it. The number 7 flashing on the screen immediately attracted everyone's attention. For them, it was very important. This was undoubtedly a huge discovery, so they immediately returned to the camp. Moreover, Mino secretly led Mark to a hidden wooden cabin deep in the woods. He couldn't wait to lift the white patch on the table and saw an extremely detailed maze model appearing before his eyes. This is a complete map drawn by walkers with their lives in the past 3 years, and the map is so detailed that every passage and every corner are clearly marked. But Mino said that there was no exit at all at the edge of the labyrinth. This is also the reason why they have been afraid to make this map public, because they are afraid that everyone will lose the hope of escaping, thus causing great panic. His detailed coding section introduced all the situations in the Fascinated Palace. However, strangely, there were obviously 8 areas in it, but the 7th area had never been opened. Yesterday, after Mark killed the Ghost Fire Beast, the 7th district was unexpectedly opened. Mino thought that there was an inevitable connection between the monster and the 7th district, so they decided to enter the maze again tomorrow to investigate. However, at this moment, 2 teammates suddenly ran up and told them that the woman had woke up. After that, Mark found the other party and got an important clue from him. It turned out that there were 2 potions that followed him. Although the 2 of them didn't know the effect of this potion at this time, what they brought was definitely extraordinary. Mark suddenly realized that this thing might be solved, so he hurriedly told the second commander here, "Nuke this important news," but he was afraid that it would kill the team members. At this time, the captain was alive and dead anyway. Regardless of Mark of 372-17 was preparing to give the captain an injection, but the captain suddenly fell ill at this time. Shouldn't be here. Seeing this bad situation, Teresa directly picked up the reagent and poked it in.
Alright, now someone mentioned I was always watching him tirelessly.
The next day, as the colossal stone door creaked open, Mark and Mino dashed into the labyrinth. With Mino's intimate familiarity with the maze, they swiftly reached the 7th district. Yet upon entering, the sight before them was astonishing. The entire area bore a structure unlike any other. Its walls resembled a forest of blades waiting to strike. If the labyrinth started transforming, the walls would close like deadly shears, slicing anyone within them. Then they stumbled upon a torn piece of clothing, the boys who had been forced into the palace earlier. To their shock, after enduring the Ghost Fire Beast's ambush, she had been dragged here. This startling find ignited a significant suspicion in Mark's mind.